doing this stretch of, lowering your arm and inching your fingers down and then bending up the other arm and reaching for your fingers is a bit of a struggle. We have the floor to really assist us in this. So perhaps you attempt to do this a couple of times, and if this is, again, not working, the floor is a really nice assist. You want to make sure that you've done those shoulder circles, you've done some sort of movement to get these guys going, because again, this next stretch is going to be a little bit more aggressive, even though, or I should say, because you're using the floor and you have that much of a greater assist. So once you lie down on the floor, you'll basically, this arm that you want to reach up your back is going to be against the floor. So to do your left arm, I would say lie down, take your right arm overhead, and then just roll over to your right hand side. So you'll see now I'm going to take my left arm, kind of bend it, and then elbow facing down, fingers inch up. Now already try to get as high as possible. So really inch your way up there as much as possible, as far as you can get it. And once you're like, I'm definitely as far as I can go, you're going to very, very carefully start to roll back onto your back. Your palm, make sure, is facing the floor. And you want to move fairly slowly because this, again, is quite aggressive, especially when all your body weight is now over this left arm. Now, once you have that assist, you can bend up your legs if that's helpful. And I like to maybe just scoot myself into a better position and maybe even inch my fingers up a little bit higher. So for me at the moment, my fingers are kind of just above my shoulder blade, my right shoulder blade. And I'm gonna take my right arm, this one that you were using as a pillow earlier. I'm gonna do the same thing and just bend with my elbow facing up and then reach for my fingers down below. And I kind of lift up my right shoulder blade to help assist with that, giving some space. And then once I'm here, try best you can to relax, right? This left shoulder wanna sort of tense up to defend yourself. But you want to try to relax that side, and also if you can think of almost applying a little bit of pressure your head against your right arm, you can get a better tricep stretch on your right hand side as well. All right, so you want to do this with both sides. So I'm just gonna undo, but again, you want to hold quite a bit longer than I'm holding at the moment. So once you undo your top arm, you're gonna again bring this left foot down, roll back on your right, undo this left arm. And again, it'll not feel particularly good, but that's all right. And we just want to reverse. So rolling over to our left, taking our right arm, inching our fingers up our back as far as possible to begin, all right? Because what you're doing is once you roll back, you're just basically holding your arm in place. Like that's the floor, what the floor is doing for you. So it can't help you push up higher, but it can help hold you in place, which is kind of nice. And then again, your left arm, let's bend it and inch our fingers down our back. Try to grab a hold of your other fingers. And with this left arm, it wants to lift up. Try maybe use your head to push your left elbow back down. Adjust as much as you need to get your fingers closer. And right here, my rib cage wants to pop out. I want to arch out my spine because it helps me feel more comfortable. But don't do that. Try best you can to sort of flatten it out. And if that's not working that well, bend up your legs, and that will help you flatten out a little bit more. All right, but again, you want to hold this a little bit longer than I'm currently demonstrating. All right, to exit out, you can straighten out your legs, lengthen out through your left arm, roll back over to your left side, free out this right arm, and we can continue on. So you're already on the floor, and bring yourself back onto your mat. And then take your right arm, thread it through, right, over to your left-hand side with your palm facing up. So I'll show you just from this side to start. We're gonna take this arm, thread it through, palm facing up, and then rather than lying exclusively on your right-hand side, you're gonna try to square off your shoulders. So just doing this single arm at the moment, I already feel quite a bit as I square off my shoulders, meaning both shoulders face the floor, right? So rather than lifting my left shoulder up, which feels really comfortable, I'm going to apply some weight, my own body weight, over my right arm, and it feels not so comfortable, which is what you want. All right, so if this feels relatively okay to you and you'd like to add a little bit more, you can take this left arm and do the same thing. You're gonna cross it over, palm facing up, and then square off your shoulders. Let yourself be heavy, right? The reason I say that is your body will wanna protect itself and hold yourself up. Your glutes might start to tense, your legs might start to tense. You wanna do the best that you can to relax that all completely. All right, once you've held for a couple of breaths, you gently unwind, of course, and then switch it out. So now, instead of my right arm underneath, I'm gonna put my left arm underneath and thread that right arm through as well. The best you can from sort of a front line perspective. One arm, thread the other arm. You're trying to pull your arms apart in the opposite directions and let your body just melt into the floor. Give yourself quite a bit of time for this, like 1 minute each side. And so when you're ready to undo, you'll feel like super compressed through your front body. And that's a good time then to take it to the opposite, or make your body do just the opposite. So our next thing will open up our chest, our shoulder. So you can take your right arm or left arm, it doesn't matter. I'll do my right arm for the sake of this space. Make sure you're at a shoulder height. And another thing to check is your right shoulder will want to lift up off the floor. You're not jamming your right shoulder down, but you want to make sure that does sit on the floor with relatively no space. So with your left hand, your free arm, you're going to just post up near your chest. All right, so post up near your chest. And then as you look toward your left and you push through your left palm, start to move your weight over to your right arm. And you'll feel that nice deep stretch running through that right side chest, shoulder. And again, you want to repeat the other side with a straight arm, all the wonderful things. Again, you're holding quite a bit longer than I am. If that one feels like good, but you want a little bit more, there's more. So you can do the same thing, similar type of stretch, but it'll be quite a bit deeper when you bend your arm into a 90-degree angle, so it's goal posted. So we'll take this right arm again, and this right elbow just comes out of our right shoulder, and this left arm forms that that right arm is a 90-degree angle, shoulder to elbow, elbow to hand. Same thing, left palm close with your chest, and you'll find that you can't go quite as deeply, and if you can push a lot, you need to double check that your right shoulder chest area is still on the floor. Right, and it's the same thing, you want to do it on this side. I'm going to show you from a side angle so you have a little bit of space. Definitely want to make sure this left elbow is in line with your left shoulder, right? If it's too far forward, too far back, that's great, but we just want to attack this part. It's kind of a broader base, and we'll try to hit that first. You can do this in a supine fashion as well, with a block underneath your back. And with your chest elevated, you can goalpost your arms and let gravity help you build a stretch there. Now, an alternative to the first stretch with a straight arm, not an alternative, if you want to add on to that, good way to add on is, so we start the same way. Our arm is straight, extending out of our shoulder, and we're pushing just like we did before. This is kind of a blind reach, but if you face your right fingers up toward this ceiling and then reach your left arm around, sort of the first time it'll feel kind of weird, you're not exactly sure where you're going, but after a couple of times you'll maybe be able to reach your fingers and interlace and then open up through your chest again. All right, you want to, of course, do both sides. Now, doing it a different way, you can also open up your shoulders by interlacing your fingers and flattening out your palms against the floor, and get yourself as far down as possible. Let's say this is your maximum, this is my maximum. You can bend up your legs from there and take it a little bit deeper by just windshield wiping your knees out right, left. And while you do that, send your hips farther away from you. See if you might be able to inch yourself closer and closer to the floor.